It's a rivalry dating all the way back to the Roaring '20s, and the competitors have never changed. A pitched battle between the United States and Argentina could whip sports fans across America into a frenzy. And if you grew up with polo, you grew up with the saga.
I have followed all those games, you know, since 1936, the Olympic Games. Argentina hasn't been beaten. But I think America is getting closer and closer. I think our time is coming, if it is coming at all.
Always, it was the Argentines who celebrated after the matches. Year after year, the taste of triumph, the smiles of success seem theirs alone to enjoy and savor. But the gap is closing. Last year, the margin of victory, 1 goal. And now there's pressure to maintain status quo.
So we really don't think we are going to win for sure. We know we have to play it very well for winning. And we have to play it all day and very well. That's the reason we feel the pressure.
Maybe losing a game, you know, anybody can take it. But losing against United States will be for us really, you know, a killer.
And after 50 years, a determined North American team continues to work and wait and wonder.
If we could beat them, I think that would put us somewhere in the history books.
And there's Owen Reinhardt now selecting his mallet as we get set to start the first of 6 chukkers. It's Argentina against North America, and we'll get started in just a moment.
The America's Cadillac Polo Championship is sponsored by Pantene Shampoos and Conditioners. Serious care for beautiful hair. Raytheon Company, where quality starts with fundamentals. Rolex, the watch of excellence. And by Cadillac Motor Car Company. Discover why the only way to travel is Cadillac style.
Welcome back to Greenwich, Connecticut, where today a tall task for the North Americans, taking on the team considered the best in the world, the team from Argentina. And let's meet the players you'll be watching today. At position number 1, Mike Azzaro for North America and Benjamin Araya for Argentina.
Position number 1 is primarily offensive. His job is to stay upfield, receive passes, and score goals.
At position number 2, Carlos Gracida and Alfonso Pierres.
The number 2 is the pivot man, mainly responsible for driving the ball upfield and supporting the attack of the number 1. He's got to be an accurate passer.
The number 3 position, Memo Gracida and Gonzalo Pierres.
Number 3 is the quarterback of the team. He controls tactics, concentrating on turning the defense into offense. He's usually the best player on the field.
And finally, at the position number 4, Owen Reinhardt and Ernesto Trotz.
The number 4 spot is the defensive back. He concentrates on protecting the goal and turning the play to the number 3. He's normally the team's longest hitter.
As for the playing field, if you think a football field is large, consider 9 football fields would fit into 1 polo field. The rules are rather basic. 6 7.5-minute chukkers, or periods, if you will. There are no rider substitutions. All 8 players will stay in the entire game. And each team will change goals after each score. Penalties are usually awarded as free hits. Now, maintaining the integrity of the game, 2 officials mounted throughout the course of the competition, and 1 referee in the stands to settle any disputes. North America is in the red jerseys going to the right, and Argentina in the white jerseys going to your left and already on the attack.
Quickly out of the throw-in, here comes Gonzalo Pierres passing that ball up to Benjamin Araya. Benjamin hooked out of there by Owen Reinhardt. Gonzalo following up the play, shoots through the goal. That's a score.
17 seconds is all it took for Argentina to score, and Gonzalo Pierres gets the goal. He's a 10-goal player, which is the highest skill level rating in the world.
That's right, Jim. They go from 10 all the way down to -1, and 96% of the players in the world are 4 goals and under, so you're seeing the best out here today.
So after the score, the teams now change direction, so Argentina will be going to the goal toward our right.
Benjamin Araya trying to get a pass upfield to his number 2, Alfonso Pierres. Memo Gracida backs it back off a horse, and the ball is out of play.
So a throw-in coming now, as the ball will be brought back in. Keep in mind also that the mallet must be held in the right hand at all times.
You'll notice there that Carlos Gracida reached down and hit it on the left side of the horse, but can't change hands with that stick. Benjamin Araya comes to the boards, picks that ball up, makes a nice pass upfield to Alfonso Pierres. Alfonso pushing hard against Owen Reinhardt, but Memo Gracita's got the line. Alfonso didn't think so, but it's Owen Reinhardt turning the player around for the North American team. Owen comes to the ball, asks for a foul, doesn't quite get there, and it's turned around nicely by Gonzalo Pierres. Gonzalo in position, tapping between players. Memo Gracita turns to try to meet it, can't quite get there, and Gonzalo Pierres scores his second goal.
Now, it may have appeared that the North American Memo Gracita could have done something defensively to stop Pierres here, but actually he was just following the rules. You see Gracita in the circle, just standing there, but Pierres had established the right-of-way, the line in which the ball was traveling, so Gracita could not cut him off for safety reasons. And it is now 2-0 Argentina with the upper hand. And a knock-in now, Argentina going to the left in the white jerseys.
Gonzalo Pierres coming to the play, trying to reach Benjamin Araya. Benjamin, a sharp angled neck shot on the near side of the pony. Memo Gracita picks up the line there. Asks for a foul, and we do have a whistle. That whistle will stop the play. That goal will not count.
Well, Argentina has certainly been the team on the attack here early, but what about this play, Tom?
You'll notice a player in the red jersey, Memo Gracita, drops right in on that line. Benjamin Araya has to cross over to get to it. It's a foul.
So a break for the North Americans as the momentum of Argentina is stopped there. 5 penalties in Polo, and free hits are determined by the severity of the foul and the location. Hits can take place from 30, 40, 60 yards and midfield. So for the North Americans, the free hit comes from Owen Reinhardt at midfield.
Owen gets a nice shot up, looking for Mike Azaro. Mike leans way out, can't quite reach it. Alfonso Pierres turns it around, but it's off a pony, and Owen Reinhardt jumps on it. Owen's shot upfield to Carlos. Carlos Gracita can't quite dig it out of the divots. Mike Azaro follows up and makes the score.
Mike Azaro from Chicago, now living in San Antonio, gets the first goal for the North Americans. Now, he's a 6-goal player here today.
That's right, Jim. Mike's the lowest rated player on the field, but he's certainly considered one of the up-and-coming young American stars.
Well, as we see Gonzalo Pierres send a hard neck shot to midfield, it's now 2-1 Argentina.
Benjamin Araya on the receiving end of that long pass. What happened to Owen Reinhardt? Benjamin taking the ball downfield. Chips a little shot. Whoa, just through there for the score.
So the goal for Benjamin Araya, considered to be one of the most accurate shooters to goal, and he's also the youngest player ever to win the Argentine Open. Owen Reinhardt's going to change horses now in the first chukker.
Yeah, it's an unusual situation. Usually the players won't change horses until the end of the chukker, but Owen's horse apparently ran out of steam on him.
Well, just 15 seconds left, Tom, here in the first chukker.
Nice pickup there by Carlos Gracita. He scoops that ball out, trying to get past Gonzalo Pierres. Benjamin Araya now giving chase. Carlos out in front, keeps that ball ahead of him. 1 second left, he's run out of time.
Unlike other sports, it's not off the mallet before it counts. It must go through the goal before the clock hits 0. We're at the end of the first chukker with Argentina in front.
Dating back over 2,000 years to medieval India.
Because of the rain all week, the field is already torn up after one chukker. And for more on the conditions, let's go to Ann Butler.
We just spoke with a couple of the players. The field is, in a word, a mess. Conditions are extremely slippery out there. The players are having to take all of the turns much slower than usual. It's interesting to note the horses, this horse just came in from the first chukker, come here, are wearing a special shoe, if you can see right here, with cleats. This is a polo shoe, but this is called a trailer, and it's a spike that gives them just a little bit more of an edge in slippery conditions.
Now, as far as the speed of the horses so far, what would you say, Tom? 50% normal?
It's closer to 75%, really, and that's mostly on the turns. As soon as the players get going and get lined out, they're going wide open, Jim.
And a game with the skill level here, what about the ball speed? How big of a factor is that with these wet conditions?
As soon as it touches the ground, it slows down. It's supposed to really roll when it hits that ground, but it bounces and hits a little divot or something, and it's stopping pretty quick.
Well, it's not slowing down the team from Argentina here, as once again they're on the attack.
Benjamin Araya reaching for Gonzalo Pierres. Gonzalo avoids the hook, taps that ball, reaches behind him, scores another goal.
That is now 3 goals on the day for Gonzalo Pierres, who, along with his brother Alfonso, playing here for Argentina. It's interesting to note North America has its own pair of brothers playing. The Gracita brothers, Carlos and Memo from Mexico. So 2 players from Mexico, 2 from the United States for North America. And Tom, one might wonder why the United States isn't able to field its own team against Argentina.
Well, basically, Jim, without the 2 10-goal Mexicans, the United States would have a hard time competing against this tough Argentine team. Currently in the United States, there are no 10-goal players.
The highest-rated American is Owen Reinhardt, who you see right there in the red jersey. Reinhardt, a 9-goaler, and there's only one other 9-goaler in the United States right now, and that is Tommy Wayman, who played in this event last year.
Mike Azzaro now driving down towards goal. Can't get back to that shot, and it's turned across the field by Gonzalo Pierres. Memo Gracita picks up the line for the North American team. Mike Azzaro tries to get a piece of it and can't quite reach it. Benjamin Araya taps that ball under his pony, turns the ball around. Memo trying to get a hold of him. Benjamin sneaks it out of there. Mike Azzaro comes across, and we've got another whistle on the field.
So far in this second chukker, we've seen very little action, very little scoring compared to the first chukker.
That's right, Jim. The 2 teams look like they're checking each other a lot closer. They're playing a lot better defensive polo, and that's what the Americans have got to do.
A free hit now for Pierres, Gonzalo Pierres, from 60 yards out.
Gonzalo's shot not up in the air like he needs it to be. Brother Alfonso comes in, but that ball over the back line, wide.
Here as we take a look at the 10-goaler, Gonzalo, he just plain stubbed it here, Tom. He wanted to get it airborne, but it never left the ground and went off the back line. Now, the knock-in was hit out of bounds, so here's the throw-in now from the side.
Everybody looking for that ball. Nice hook there by Alfonso. Benjamin picks up the ball, hits a nice big booming shot upfield. This time Owen Reinhardt, though, has got plenty of horse. He gets there first. Oh, looks like Benjamin's broken his mallet. Owen taps that ball under his pony's neck. He's going to take it around. Owen Reinhardt. A little bit longer than he wanted to, but he gets back to it. Hits a nice shot on a bouncing ball, looking for Mike Azzaro. Mike Azzaro wiped out on that play by Ernesto Trotz.
That bump is legal. I guess it's kind of like a body check in hockey.
You can bump up to 45 degrees, but depending on the severity of it, the referee will call a foul.
We're nearing the end of the second chukker, and Argentina leading by 3 goals.
Carlos Gracita, nice drive up the field there. Little backhander by Gonzalo Pierres. Benjamin Araya raising his stick in the air. He thinks he's been fouled. The referee doesn't agree. Memo drives one down towards goal. Ernesto Trotz coming in. Can't get a good hold on it. Alfonso Pierres clears it to the side. Mike Azzaro looking for a shot in behind there. Benjamin Araya, he's called off. Gonzalo Pierres sends it to the boards, and we're out of time.
So a missed opportunity for the North Americans who were on the attack at the end of the second chukker. We're at the America's Cadillac Polo Championship, and Argentina leads it through 2 of 6 chukkers.
Michael, stay more at 1. Don't run so much all over the field. Okay.
Mike Azzaro taking instruction from his teammate Memo Gracita as we get set now for action in the third chukker. Gives us an opportunity to tell you about a charity fundraiser for wildlife that was held earlier here at Conyers Farm. Now honored at this fundraiser, the Duke and Duchess of York, of course better known as Prince Andrew and Fergie. Oh, there was one slithering moment when a snake was brought out. Fergie was obviously rattled by the snake and hid behind her hubby, and I can't say that I blame her too much with the way I feel about snakes. But 4-1, the score, Argentina leading as we now start the third chukker.
North America looking for a chance to get back in this game, but it's Argentina taking off to the right of your screen. Nice pass there from Alfonso up to Benjamin Araya, but Memo Gracita turns it around. Carlos Gracita for North America, tapping forward, looking for a little opening. Carlos trying to get past Ernesto Trotz. Carlos still in control of that ball. Carlos Gracita, nice neck shot down towards goal, looking for help. He got it. Mike Azzaro scores.
Azzaro now has scored both goals for the North Americans, and this 21-year-old is answering some of his pregame questions.
What concerns me the most is it's such a quick and fast action polo, because the caliber and the players are thinking so much quicker than the polo that I have played in before, and this is the fastest polo that I've ever played in.
Mike Azzaro, a 6 handicap right now, and really considered the best young player in the United States today. He is 21, as we mentioned, Tom. What really is the prime age for a polo player?
Generally, it's considered to be about 26, 28 through 36, so Mike's got a ways to go.
A whistle and a stop and play. What happened here?
I'm going to have to disagree with the referees on this one, Jim. They're calling in favor of Benjamin Araya. You'll see on your left, they said the line of the ball was more or less up and down the field. Owen coming across. I saw the line boards to boards. I thought Owen was right on.
But the call goes against Reinhardt, so the result, a 40-yard free hit now for Pierres with no North Americans defending the goal. Gonzalo takes advantage of that easy opportunity, and it's now 5-2 Argentina. Gonzalo Pierres, to give you the game summary so far, has scored 4 of his team's 6 goals. Azaro scoring both goals for North America, and very soggy conditions. In fact, another penalty has been called now, this time on the Argentina team, so it's penalty shot time for the North Americans.
Penalty 4 called there against the Argentine team. Memo Gracita will get a free shot from 60 yards out. Right through there for the score. Memo gets it over everybody's head.
Gracita from Mexico City, a 10-goaler, just like his brother, and it is now 5-3 Argentina. Has to give the North Americans a little confidence, at least, to come back and score a couple of goals here in this chukker.
A lot of fouls so far in the first half, Jim. Probably caused by a little bit by the field conditions. The ball hits the divot, bounces around, moves, the line changes. Another whistle.
It's a crossing foul on the North Americans, results in a penalty 4. So Gonzalo Pierres from 60 yards with another free hit now for Argentina. And Pierres is perfect there, just split the uprights.
Makes it 3 out of 4, Jim.
Actually, the torn-up turf may have helped Pierres here. Much like a golfer playing winter rules, you're able to set up the ball here to give yourself the best lie possible.
The idea is to get that ball teed up as high as you can so that you can hit underneath it. Hit the ball high in the air over the opposing team's mallets and through for the score.
Pierres, again, just knocked it right through, so it's 6-3 Argentina, and a lot of goals being scored here on free hits in the third chukker.
Little melee there in the throw-in, but the ball pops out. Owen Reinhardt gets a nice big backhander to turn it back for the North American team. A little crowd around that ball. Mike Azaro comes through. We've got another whistle.
As you look at Rob Walton from the United States, an excellent player in his own right, and on your left, Gustavo Correges from Argentina. And another free hit now for the North Americans. This is Memo Gracita coming up.
Memo, another penalty 4 shot. All down at the same end of the field. Memo shot high in the air right through there. It's a goal.
So Memo Gracita has scored the last 2 goals for North America. It's been a penalty-marred third chukker coming to an end now, but a chukker that saw 5 goals scored. So there's the horn. We're at halftime in Greenwich, Connecticut, with Argentina leading North America by the score of 6-4. Welcome back to Greenwich, Connecticut and the Greenwich Polo Club. We're here at halftime in the America's Cadillac Polo Championship. It's Argentina leading North America by the score of 6-4. Jim Nance again along with Tom Gose, and what a first half performance by Gonzalo Pierres with 5 goals for Argentina.
Gonzalo's a magician. You know that the bad turf conditions and all that haven't seemed to slow him down a bit. He's a real good stickman. He's got excellent concentration, and he scored 5 of the 6 goals so far for Argentina, so he's really hustling today.
Tom, the North Americans made quite an adjustment, trailing in the second chukker 4-1. They've come back here to get right back into it 6-4 at halftime.
They seem to have a little horse trouble early. They got it straightened out about the end of the first chukker, and since then they've been playing good, strong defensive polo and getting a few offensive breaks because of that. That's their forte.
All right, we'll look for more of that in the second half. You know, it's interesting to see how teams and individuals train in polo. It's done differently in each country, as we find out now from our colleague, Ann Butler.
Like any other sport, polo flourishes in an environment of natural resources, some of which have to do with considerations of culture and national heritage. And while both have arrived here at the pinnacle of success, the North and South Americans have traveled very different paths to get here. In a way, they are the true natives of Argentina, galloping free across the untamed prairie. And where there is such an abundance of horses, the game of polo comes naturally.
And I started when I was very, very young. I think I was 7 years old. I really like it since I was maybe 2 or 3. I always had a mallet on my hands. My grandfather used to play. My father still plays, and I have 2 brothers already playing.
While in Argentina, it's a game of family tradition, here in the United States, polo has usually been more closely associated with family fortune. Not a leisurely pastime, however, but a combative sport that recalls an era of ease and social grace. Images reminiscent, perhaps, of Great Gatsby's America. It was the game of choice for high society, attracting thousands of fans across the country at its height of popularity in the 30s. But learning to play here in America was tricky. Private clubs offered late starts to members only.
I started about 12 because I don't think I was really probably strong enough to, you know, do it until then. And but we always played foot polo and bicycle polo and that sort of stuff when we were younger.
The Argentine art of transforming range ponies into polished performers on the polo field is unequaled anywhere in the world. More than a sport, here, polo is a way of life.
It's a national sport there, and those guys, the kids, they love to do it. It's like our kids playing baseball and football, and everybody understands the game, and they all know about the game, and they go and watch the game, and it's incredible.
We were talking about American polo and Argentine polo. The advantage of the Argentines over the Americans probably is that they have that in their tradition, in their culture. You know, they are involved with the horse, their culture. The horse is a very important factor in their culture from the long time ago.
And always in Argentina, there is living testimony to a standard set for all to match.
In polo, you need a lot of experience, and I think now I have to start using that experience, and it's not so much physical, and it's more where you go and anticipation and things like that.
As you see, the North Americans contemplating what must be done to stop Argentina in the second half. And the old tradition at halftime of stomping out the divots. And boy, do we have our share today here in Connecticut. It's halftime, and Argentina leads North America 6-4 in the America's Cadillac Polo Championship. Back after this word from your local station. Argentina will be going from your left to right in the white jerseys and leading 6-4.
Right out of the lineup there, Memo Gracida controlling on the big gray horse. Ernesto Trotz gets a little backhander in. Gonzalo Pierres under the pony's belly. Look at that shot all the way to the boards. Carlos Gracida, Benjamin Araya. Benjamin for Argentina picks it up, sends it upfield, looking for Gonzalo Pierres. Gonzalo gets his shot in, but we've got another whistle.
Well, you saw Gonzalo cut off the right away there of Memo Gracida, so Gracida will get the penalty for 60-yard penalty shot coming up. Free hit now for the North Americans.
Memo takes a good strong stroke, but hits it along the ground and wide off to the left of the goalpost. Not exactly what he wanted to do there.
So far in penalty shots, the North Americans 2 out of 5 from 60 yards.
A little bit below average, Jim. They ought to be at least hitting around 75% in this kind of polo. These are the best players in the world.
So an opportunity squandered for the North Americans, a chance to cut the deficit to 1 goal. 6-4, Argentina leading.
Nice backhander there by Mike Azzaro. Memo Gracida not quite able to get to that play. And another whistle. Probably the best example we've seen so far, Jim, of crossing penalty. Number 4 red, right down the line on this play. The number 2 in white comes across, acts like he doesn't even know he's there.
Reinhardt is just cut off by Alfonso Pierres, so a penalty shot coming up for the North Americans, and it's Reinhardt from midfield.
Nice pickup there by Memo Gracida on the near side. He's on the good horse Cochise. Pops that ball up, pops it down towards goal, takes a hard bump, picks up the ball after it's backed, and scores the goal.
Great effort by Gracida and the horse Cochise, a horse that you have some association with, Tom.
Cochise and I go back a long way. I played Cochise in open polo for the last 4 years. I sold him to Memo about 6 months ago.
Tom, right off the throw-in, the North Americans are charging a chance to tie now.
Mike Azzaro with a good opportunity going straight towards goal. Mike sets that ball up, taps again, overrides the top of it, but Carlos Gracida happens to be there behind him. It's a score.
And the North Americans have come back to tie this match after Carlos Gracida really saved the day here. Mike Azzaro almost blew the opportunity here.
It looks like Mike's horse just carried him right over the top of that ball. He might have been a little bit over-anxious, looking up, maybe looking at the goalpost, but Carlos, following up the play, makes a nice one.
Like any great team in basketball, on a fast break, the trailer ran it out and was able to save the day there for his team. North America and Argentina tied at 6. Argentina now going to your right.
Good defensive play there from Memo. Trying to reach his brother Carlos. Carlos can't quite get in on that play, and it's Gonzalo Pierres. Offside, now near side.
Offside is on the rider's right. Near side is on the rider's left.
Big booming offside neck shot. Up front looking for Benjamin Araya. Memo Gracita comes in for the hook. Alfonso shoots, but that ball off wide to the right. No score.
A missed opportunity for the Argentines. Alfonso had the opening. A horse change now for Benjamin Araya. Right here in the middle, the fourth chukker. And Owen Reinhardt will make his second change during the middle of the chukker in this match. Now the horse breakdown today, 15 geldings, 33 mares, and the average age of these horses is 7. When you look at the country breakdown, Argentina has supplied 34 of the horses, and for really a match of this magnitude, you need 48 horses for a 6-chukker match. And most people will tell you the horse is 75% of the game.
Owen Reinhardt now looking for some help up front. Carlos Gracita tries to get a stick on it. Memo in behind. Loses it under his pony, and another whistle.
And the free hit forthcoming as the crowd enjoying the action here in the 4th chukker on a chilly day in New England. This will be Memo Gracita. Really just a chip shot here from 30 yards out, uncontested. Chance to take the lead for the first time. And Gracita has done it. The North Americans have taken the lead, and this is a great comeback here, Tom. Down 3 goals. It's now 7-6 North America.
Everything seems to be going right for them now, Jim. Good horses, good teamwork. They're really pushing up front. Benjamin Araya gets that ball out of the lineup, and it's Alfonso Pierres. Oh, there's a stumble on a slick field, and Memo Gracita turns that ball around. Looking for Mike Azaro. Mike Azaro a little slow getting out to the number 1 position, but it's Ernesto Trotz for Argentina. Turning the defense into offense. Alfonso Pierres on the shot, necks it towards the goal.
30 seconds left in the chukker.
Memo Gracita on a tail shot. And the whistle sounds.
The infraction will go against the North Americans. Owen Reinhardt is unhappy about this call. What we see here is Ernesto Trotz had the right of way, but was cut off by Memo Gracita of North America. Owen Reinhardt's perspective from back there, he thought that Gracita had the right of way.
Got to agree with the referees on this one. That's definitely a penalty.
So the penalty goes against North America. However, the North Americans with 3 goals in the chukker have taken the lead for the first time.
Riding Academy in New York City in 1876.
And now, 111 years later, we are in Greenwich, Connecticut, and North America leading to start off the 5th chukker. Jim Nance along with Tom Gose, and this is Gonzalo Pierres with the penalty shot from the infraction at the end of the 4th chukker. And he missed it. He missed it wide, a wide open, uncontested shot for Pierres. What happened here, Tom?
Jim, it looks like he just pulled it off to the left. 10-goal player, 40 yards out. Those ought to be 100% shots there.
So a real break for the North Americans here in the 5th chukker with a 1-goal lead, and the North Americans going from left to right, and have really started now to sparkle here in the late going. Now the throw-in from out of bounds.
Memo gets a nice neck shot out of the lineup. Ernesto Trotz bangs one off Mike Azaro's pony. Alfonso Pierres pails that back. Owen Reinhardt across the line. Another infraction.
And another one against the North Americans. Gonzalo will fix up the tape here for a second. He just mishit the last penalty shot, but he was a big hit earlier in Manhattan, helping to promote this event. He was walking down the streets of New York City. Shades of Crocodile Dundee. Gonzalo now, with that form, one more time, a chance to tie it up on the 60-yard free shot.
Gonzalo pulls this one a little bit to the left, too. Flagman says it's good.
Boy, that was close. That was really close. But the goal will stand, and Argentina has tied this match at 7-all. A little less than 3 minutes to go in the chukker. You know, the clock almost never stops during the 7.5-minute chukker, and for these horses, it's really quite a grind. They're often referred to as polo ponies, but these are really thoroughbreds who must race 3 to 3.5 miles during that 7.5-minute stretch. So it's really a grind on these animals, and that's why they're such a critical part of this game.
Some of them, Jim, will even play 2 chukkers in the same game, so they've got to really be fit to make it. Right now, Gonzalo Pierres knocks the ball off a pony's back legs, and it's Ernesto Trotz following up the play. Memo comes across, gets called on a foul.
The foul on Gracida will mean another free hit opportunity for Argentina. So far, Argentina has converted on 3 out of 5. It's Gonzalo Pierres now with a chance to put his team back in front.
Gonzalo makes good on this one. Argentina retakes the lead.
And Gonzalo Pierres is carrying the load for Argentina. He has now scored 7 of his country's 8 goals. But, you know, he's really no stranger to Conyers Farm here in Connecticut. He spends a great deal of his year competing in the United States, and one club team he plays for is right here in Greenwich.
His familiarity with this field obviously paying off for him today. Right now we've got Ernesto Trotz, though, taking that ball to the boards. Ernesto going around wide, coming back to it. Carlos Gracida causes him to foul.
Just one penalty after another. Have you ever seen so many called in one match?
Seems like the pressure's really getting to him today, Jim. They're making some silly mistakes out there on the field you don't usually see. The number 2 red here, coming right down the line, obviously. Number 4 takes his man wide, but never looks back as he comes back to the ball. Never looks over his shoulder.
So Memo Gracida will have a chance now to tie this match up once again. He's the team leader for the North Americans, and this free hit could tie up the match. He has done it. Memo Gracida. Now, he was not the man who was fouled on the infraction. Who selects who will take the free hit?
Well, Memo, being the team captain, gets to decide. If he's got the hot hand, he'll go ahead and hit it. But all 4 of the players on that team are capable of making a penalty shot.
Gracida has made the most of his penalty shots as we now near the end of the 5th chukker. 30-second horn has gone off, and it's tied at 8-all.
Nice backhander there by Carlos Gracida. It's picked up by Gonzalo Pierres. His shot going right to Owen Reinhardt. Owen turns it around but doesn't get the backhander he needs. Alfonso Pierres hops right on it. Memo and Benamin ride each other out. Mike Azaro takes Alfonso away from the ball, and it's Ernesto Trotz with the next shot across.
And the shot is wide to end the 5th chukker. So, only 7.5 minutes left. 1 chukker remaining to settle the score in the America's Cadillac Polo Championship. It has all come down to this. Coming in, the North Americans were really the long shots to win it today. It has been, after all, over 50 years since the North Americans last defeated Argentina in polo. Let's go to our Ann Butler.
It's tied up right now.
The momentum in our way, I think we have a very good chance to beat them.
You feel that?
Trying to find out the best horses, the best possible horses for this last joker. I think we're going to make it.
And you can tell Memo is certainly anxious to get out there and get underway. The 6th chukker, the cup, the elusive prize that has long awaited the grasp of the North Americans. Last year, coming into the final chukker, it was 11-7 Argentina, but here we are. Starting play, all tied up at 8, and the North Americans will be going to our left to start it off.
Memo winds up, takes a big shot upfield, looking for Mike Azaro. Doesn't quite get there, though, and it's backed out by Ernesto Trotz. Ernesto's backhander going right to Benamin Araya. Benamin sends it to the center. Alfonso Pierres overrides. Memo turns quickly on that ball, sends a nice neck shot upfield, looking for brother Carlos. Carlos in a little traffic. And a whistle on the play.
So the first break in this final chukker goes to Argentina as the penalty is called on North America.
Jim, we got a horse change over on the side. Owen Reinhardt looks like he's having a little trouble controlling that mount. Gonzalo Pierre is also off the field getting a new one.
This is certainly no time to be out on the field with a weak mount. So Ernesto Trotz, the number 4 player, will take the free hit from midfield. And you can certainly see why he'll be able to stay back on defense. And look at that crush, some 130 yards down toward the goal.
Carlos Gracida in there quickly, pops that ball out. It's off a pony. Owen Reinhardt also off a pony. Ball right down near the goal. Alfonso Pierres, his mount steps on the ball.
We've got a buried ball here. Well, you don't see that very often, but again, the conditions of the playing field coming into play.
Earlier I said the Americans might be able to take advantage of this wet field. So far it's been a toss-up. Neither one of them seem to be taking any advantage over the other because of the wet surface.
So now a throw-in will follow on the Argentina end. North Americans must be careful here.
It's a jam-up down in front of the goal. Gonzalo Pierres reaches out, backs that ball through. Tough angle. What a nice play. Gonzalo Pierres. Gonzalo, master of the polo field, always seems to know where he is. Everybody else is pointed upfield. Gonzalo sneaks around, waits his turn, sees that ball, and slaps it through there on that backhander.
Tom, that is the shot of the day to this point. A blind backhander. And what awareness of where he is on the field to be able to pull off a shot like that as Argentina now leads it 9-8 midway through the final chukker.
Gonzalo coming quickly out of the lineup. He's got the ball again. Takes it to the far sideboards, gets a little neck shot. Checks his pony up, waits on that ball, slaps at it, but it's Ernesto Trotz following behind, sends the ball up front. Owen Reinhardt for the North American team tails that ball across. North American team has got a chance here. Mike Azaro in between players, but it's Ernesto Trotz turning that ball back again for Argentina.
Great shot by Trotz. Now, should the North Americans come back and tie it, there would be an overtime chukker. But here come the Argentinians.
Benjamin Araya out in front, takes a pass from Gonzalo Pierres. Benjamin, a tough angle neck shot, swings it through, it's a goal.
Argentina just racing right past the North Americans, and Benjamin Araya scoring on the breakaway suddenly makes it a 2-goal lead for Argentina. 10-8. Now 2 minutes, 31 seconds left in the final chukker, and Carlos Gracida makes a horse change for North America.
The North Americans really got their work cut out for them this time, Jim. They've got to start taking some risks on offense, but it's not going to be easy. The Argentines coming out on the same horses they had in the first chukker, and they still look fresh.
You remember what they did in that first chukker, Argentina outscoring the North Americans 3-1, and the same horses have brought them the same results here.
Alfonso Pierres on another breakaway, takes that ball down towards goal. A tough angle, pops it up. He thinks it's good.
That was a real tough angle, Tom, and Pierres is pleading with the officials. Still waiting word, and Rob Walton says, yes, it's good. So the goal will count by Alfonso Pierres, and Argentina showing its superiority down the stretch, scoring 3 unanswered goals here in the final chukker.
The Argentines definitely demonstrating here why they're considered to be the best in the world. The teamwork is exquisite. The horses are playing way above the North American horses right now, and once again, you can see right there, the North American team a little slow on the attack. Argentina, never late, never out of position. Benjamin Araya going to goal again. Benjamin, he doesn't miss him from here. Tough angle, oh, that ball's going wide. Slaps it back off the goal post. That ball's still in play. No whistle on the play. They say it went out.
But what an attempt by Benjamin Araya and Argentina, even though the outcome of this game is already decided. Time running out now, and a big final chukker by Argentina as it keeps its winning streak alive in the America's Cadillac Polo Championship. I will say this as the Argentinians congratulate one another and shake hands with the North Americans. It has to be a great feeling of relief right now on the part of the Argentina team because they were pushed right up to the end.
And the frustration, too, on the side of North America. They've been so close so many times, and to pull up short again has got to be disappointing.
Well, the cup belongs again to Argentina. We'll come back with the awards presentation in just a moment. Argentina answering the question as to which country is top dog in international polo competition. Today winning the America's Cadillac Polo Championship with a big 6th and final chukker, storming past North America 11-8 with 3 unanswered goals. The MVP, most valuable player, Gonzalo Pierres, who scored 7 of his team's 11 goals today. Here's one of the goals by Pierres, who is standing by right now with Ann Butler.
Gonzalo, first of all, congratulations. The Argentine winning streak continues.
Thank you. We are very happy, and, you know, we've been really praying during the week for the weather to help us, and didn't help us much, and we managed to win anyhow.
Did the North Americans have you a bit worried going into that last chukker when it was all tied
Well,
up?
very worried. You know, we were tied up coming into the last chukker. And we started very strong, and then we were losing our power, you know. And then, luckily, in the last chukker, we came back again.
Once again, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well, Gonzalo said it. Argentina came back in the final chukker to win it 11-8. Great disappointment again on the part of the North Americans, and Tom is standing by with Owen Reinhardt.
Owen, looked like you had him on the ropes. What happened?
I think we ran out of horses, Carlos and I especially, because we were on our own and we couldn't double up because the field was too heavy under the conditions.
How about next year? Seems like y'all are getting closer, huh?
I hope so. We'll come back and give it hell next year. I'm looking forward to trying it again. I'm not a quitter. I don't think anybody on the team is.
If there's any consolation at all for the North Americans, they had the other MVP, most valuable pony, Cochise, who was so outstanding in the fourth chukker for North America, wins that honor. And a salute to the team from Argentina, Benjamin Araya, Alfonso Pierres, Gonzalo Pierres, and Ernesto Trotz, champions of the America's Cadillac Polo Championship. Tom, before today, you said North America would have to play its absolute best to win, while Argentina could still win with a subpar performance.
That's basically what happened. The Americans put together some excellent chukkers, but every time they made a mistake, the Argentines were right there taking advantage of it.
Well, it's a sport growing in popularity all across this land, but when it comes to international competition, Argentina still rules the world in polo, winning today by the score of 11-8. For Tom Gose and Ann Butler, Jim Nance saying so long from Greenwich, Connecticut.
The America's Cadillac Polo Championship has been sponsored by Pantene Shampoos and Conditioners, serious care for beautiful hair. Raytheon Company, where quality starts with fundamentals. Rolex, the watch of excellence. And by Cadillac Motor Car Company. Discover why the only way to travel is Cadillac style.